I've been playing rugby, golf since I was 5 years old. Wear and tear, total wear and tear, where we grew up in Pittsburgh. I even tried out for the Pittsburgh Steelers when I was 23.
You used to play football?
I never played football, but I played a lot of rugby and soccer.
Okay.
And because I could really kick the ball, I tried out for the Steelers in 1978, 79, and 80 to be a field goal kicker. But they didn't. I'm still waiting for the phone call.
You're a patient man.
Patient. Born and raised in Sewickley, Pennsylvania, a little town about 10 miles south of Pittsburgh, north of Pittsburgh. Flunked third grade and got in the class of my wife, and Jane and I've been together for a long time. We've just celebrated 44 years of marriage. We have 3 children. We took our 3 children to Telluride. I was in the real estate business, still am a little bit, and then got involved in politics and was elected a couple times out there in Telluride and tried to make Telluride a better place. And in 2000, we were wondering where to spend our 20th wedding anniversary, and somebody in Telluride said, go to Sayulita. Sayulita is the Telluride of Mexico. So we came to Sayulita in 2000, and we vacationed and ended up buying a place there. And in 2002, Sayulita got too big too fast. So we went looking for a place on the beach, and we found a place on Lidibu Beach, and we built a house there, and we moved down here full-time really in 2007 or 8. And now we're just in the business of raising grandchildren and trying to provide guidance to them in these crazy times, and really loving life. Mexico has been very good to us. We love it down here. And golf, and it's just exploded around us.
How did you get into golf?
It was a babysitter for my mother and my father. Outside of Pittsburgh, there's an old club called Allegheny Country Club. We're celebrating our 130th Men's Invitational this year, which is older than the U.S. Open. And as a youngster, my parents were asked to join the club. They didn't really have the money to join the club, but they were good people and said, if you pay dues, we'll waive the initiation fee. And so we were dropped off at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock in the morning and picked up at 5, and there was a pool, and there was tennis, and there was golf. And I gravitated towards golf, although I did play a lot of tennis, but I gravitated towards golf. And with golf being a game that you can play with a lot of people because of handicaps. And then of course, really the best part about golf is the people you meet, which has carried me through my whole life of just meeting wonderful people playing golf. Well, the Four Seasons had just opened up really in 2000, and so I started going over there, and then I realized that you really had to be a property owner to join over there, and I was offered the opportunity to join without being a property owner, and I was very close to doing that. And then I happened to go to Vista Vallarta, and I met the director of golf there, Casey Crandall, who's a second-generation golf pro from San Diego, and he explained everything to me. And to make a long story short, I ended up joining Vista Vallarta, and which really put me in the golf world down here, so to speak. Well, number 3 is, if not truly one of the signature holes here at the Higuera Golf Club. And as it was being designed and built, Danny Four, who was working with Greg Norman Design at the time, came out here and made a very nice field change. And what he did here was raise this tee box up, and he cut down where the green is to create the infinity view of the ocean from the tee box. Trees are very important, and that's really where the field work comes in, where Greg comes in and does a lot of the routing, and that's really where the detail comes in, where you decide which trees to keep and which trees not to keep. And as Danny once told me, you got to make sure that the trees you keep don't fall down, because that could change the whole view of the hole. So I ended up getting in touch with Greg Norman, and he said he was coming to town. And I asked him what I could do, and he said he had a guy that's going to be here pretty much 2 weeks a month for the next couple of years, and he's looking for a place to stay. And I said he can stay with us, and that's where Danny Ford came into our life. So we were here and got to sort of see the trees being cut down and the golf course evolve sort of right beside my house. Danny worked with Pete Dye for a couple years, and then ended up with Greg Norman and Jason McCoy. And Danny traveled the world and built Medalist down in Naples. He built in Spain. He built Doonbeg in Ireland. And basically he's the guy that Greg does the design, the routing, and a lot of that. And then Danny's a guy that really just lives and breathes the golf course and works out the details. And he's really the guy that works with the shapers. And the shapers are the real artists of the golf course here. And they created a masterpiece. I mean, this golf course is a fantastic, it's a linksy course. You play through the jungle. We've seen jaguars out here. We've seen tejones. We've seen horses. It's a golf course through a nature preserve. Well, number 9 was nothing but palm trees here, and as the center line is created, you just start peeling away the trees. The 9th is about 430 yards, again bordered by trees. The second shot's very important because you're probably 200 yards out and there's trouble on either side. But as this course was being, the trees were making decisions on which trees you keep, there was a red ribbon around this Higuera. The red ribbon means it's going to be chopped down and out of here. And I told Danny Ford, I said, Danny, you got to roll the bulldozer over me before you take this tree down, because this tree sets up the hole on the approach shot. Because if you're over here, this tree plays a big role in protecting that green. So sure enough, he said, we can save it, but we're going to have to move the green over to the left a little bit. And I said, do whatever you got to do, but you can't take this tree down. And this tree can turn a par into an 8 very quickly. When you're in there, there's no hitting out. So, but it's just a really remarkable tree. It's the Higuera Golf Club. It started in 2006. They started moving dirt, and 2006 and 7, and then really the Great Depression of 2008 in the United States, and so things slowed down a little bit, and then so it really didn't open up until March of 2010, and then the Canadian Tour came back here in March or April of 2010, and 156 Canadian players came down, and it was a remarkable event, and it was just paspalum carpet, and the golf course had never looked. And the players were astounded at what Greg Norman had created and the conditions. And then on September 1st, 2010, In August of 2010, it rained and rained and rained and rained, and then in September 1st of 2010, it really rained, and it blew out a bunch of culverts and arroyos up here, and it basically closed the golf course for at least a year until they could fix it up again. And it was owned by the government, and the government had other issues to deal with. I think it wasn't a big priority, so it took a while to get the golf course back. And then it's just sort of been a struggle for many years because it was government owned and operated. And the Fauna Tour people that were here, Christophe Gerard, and then Hector came after him, really did a remarkable job considering that there wasn't a real high priority, I don't think, of the Mexican government to fund a golf course and the management and buy new tractors and all that. And and then 2 years ago, lo and behold, the Alarcón brothers came to town and worked a deal and have taken over the management and the operations of it, and it just gets better every day. And as golfers, we're very blessed to have that, have the managers really be right as good as the setting and the golf course it is. So it's a great marriage, and everyone couldn't be happier of what happened to our little golf course here in Liddybu. What this has provided is a wonderful golfing opportunity for everybody that doesn't live inside the Punta Mita properties. I was talking to a friend the other day. He's been down here from Vail, Colorado, and he's been here for 5 years. And I brought him to Liddybu a year ago, I think, and he didn't even know this place existed. And I told him that the same people that designed this designed the Vidanta course, the Norman course down there. And he said, "Well, I've never played there either." And some of those people should maybe look around and see what kind of caliber golf is in the Vallarta Bay of Banderas area here, because it's unbelievable. But this is, if anyone's been to Europe or Ireland, this is the Royal Portrush of Ireland, of the Bay. I mean, you got to be going there. It's not on the way to anywhere, so you got to get in the car, and it's not like Flamingos or El Tigre or the Marina. You got to make it a day and drive out here and really experience the golf on the point. You can go down here and in the afternoon late and go and just play 1, 8, 9, go down 10, come back 11. The clubhouse is so centrally located and the driving range is so centrally located that it's a golf design masterpiece, really, to bring everything back to the club, sort of like old clubs in where I grew up in the East. You can play your own routing, never get bored. And this was a field change where originally the green was much lower, and Greg came out and said, "No, we got to raise the green to really put yourself in the position where you're hitting the downhill shot." It's about 170 yards from here, 175 yards, which really brings in the whole views. And this is a wonderful place, among other things, to have the snack shop here and the little mini clubhouse. But also, there's no better place to watch the whales. So this is just a fabulous little hole. You would think that the downhill would make it a little shorter of a shot, but there really isn't. That doesn't really make a difference, at least from my point of view. The wind always comes from the northwest, so there is a little wind helping at times. But once again, it's bordered by some traps down there, and you want to, the green slopes from back to front for the most part. And once again, I've always found out that it's a little easier to putt uphill than downhill, so you might want to be a little short and a little long on this hole. The Alarcón brothers have completely opened that up and continue to junior golf. as well as promoting and assisting in people that are trying to get on the Mexican tour or eventually work themselves up into the Corn Ferry. And I know Oscar Fraustro has been a big name in golf here in the Vallarta area, and he comes out here and he works with juniors and 20-year-olds and even some old guys from Pittsburgh that he helps every now and then. But thank goodness Joe, brother Joe here, is a wonderful golfer, and they recognize how important golf is to a community and families and society, and really at the end of the day, the nicest people you really meet are on the golf course. It's the people's golf course. They employ a lot of people from around here. They're very involved in having employee tournaments. They go to great lengths to teach the staff and the employees, to encourage them to go play, so they sort of get a real good feeling about how important it is to cut the grass right or to rake the traps right. And so it's a big family, and they've created a wonderful place for people to enjoy the great game of golf. They go above and beyond. The tacos out on the golf course at 4T and 13 green, people love them. I bring people over here. What a great idea. Isn't this great? Those are the best tacos. And once you're here, the Higuera Golf Club, they take care of you. I mean, the people that talk to me about the staff, outside services, the reception, I'm very proud to call Higuera Blanca Golf Club home. As difficult as it is to get into Augusta National, to become a member at the Higuera Golf Club is considerably harder than to get into Augusta National. And there's one member here, member number 001, and I'm fortunate enough to have that tag, and I'm very grateful, and it's just fun to be honored that way. I sort of feel like Ben Hogan at Shady Oaks. You know, I mean, I take pride. I'm an ambassador. I carry a bag. I'm just very proud to be a part of this whole thing, because I've seen it from when it was cutting down trees, to the flood, to being not maintained, to being closed, to being through a couple depressions, I've seen it all, and it's like a kid, and all of a sudden the kid right now couldn't be doing better and couldn't be happier, and it's finally got a lot of love, and it's off to great things. Very honored, very honored.
Can you describe us? What's in your hand?
Okay, what we've got here is the Yogui hot dog, which is a sausage hot dog with mustard and ketchup and these wonderful French fries that are cooked to crispy. They got to be crispy, and there's nothing better than sinking a wonderful big birdie putt than having this bite. It really doesn't get any better than this. Really, this is good.
Perfect.